What is a psychological trick you know to really asterisk with someone? My boss handles stress terribly, so in one-on-ones, he tends to snap and spend the hour complaining about people. Sometimes people end up getting chewed out or yelled at in a meeting that's supposed to be about their development. When I first began in my department, he noticed me putting on perfume and said his wife wears the same one. It's not anything fancy, just one that's widely known. Every time I go into my one-on-one with him, I apply the perfume right before. He generally speaks very softly to me and doesn't snap at me like he does with others, and I'm pretty sure it's because he smells me and thinks of his wife. Asterisk up. That it takes that to get a manager to treat you humanely, but it works. But he knows the smell of fear. Offer somebody gum, but don't take a piece for yourself. Look at the pack, flip it over, and say okay as you put it back into your pocket. Immediately after they look at the time, ask them if they know what time it is. Chances are, they will have to look at the time again. Hell, I do this to myself all the time. Adding real quick to the end of a request adds a sense of urgency that compels people to do whatever you tell them. Example, Derry, give me your wallet real quick, and before you know it, Derry hands you his wallet. Don't worry, you can hardly notice it. My asterisk. Point out something that someone does all the time. One of my coworkers would leave the office at the end of the day and forget his headphones. So he'd leave the office and have to run in again to grab them. I told him I noticed he always forgot his headphones and how he's self-conscious about it and never forgets them anymore. That actually seems more helpful than fuckful. Hey brat, I notice how you never get your work done every day. Nice try, Brenda. Silence. It's a very effective interview technique because as humans we are conditioned to break silences in conversations. Stare at their forehead while they are talking. It really freaks people out. Jim was onto something. Generally anywhere that iced their eyes, but forehead works best. My friends always stare at my asterisk when we're talking and it drives me insane. Edit. I would like to clarify, I meant more as in anywhere very far away from people's eyes that's still on their person. But I think if you look at their nose or mouth it won't really freak them out, especially if they're used to you doing that. My eyes have always been asterisk up, where one of them sits higher than the other. In order to make it as discreet as possible, it's best to look people in the eye with my higher up eye. The downside to this is that the lower eye is constantly on their chest. Not a big deal most of the time. I'm usually only paying attention to the upper eye and basically filtering out the lower one. But if it's a woman in a low-cut shirt that I have to interact with, I have to continue on like my brain isn't getting increasingly uncomfortable with one eye staring into their cleavage. I know what you mean. I'm a pretty tall guy and I always feel awkward because I have to point my head down to talk to most girls and I'm always mildly worried they'll think I'm staring at their chest. As a pretty short girl, I can normally tell where a person is looking when people look down at me, so don't worry. Just make sure you look at their eyes because they will most likely be looking at yours if you're having a conversation. If you have been in a space in close proximity to a stranger, elevator, library, etc., and neither of you have acknowledged each other or spoken, when you go to leave say it was nice to meet you, then walk away. Tell someone you want to play rock paper scissors. As you're both getting ready to count down, compliment their shirt or something to throw them off and start counting down. And then, you pick rock. When you interrupt someone's concentration during the game, they automatically go to the most recent thing in their head, which will be scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. It works every time until they realize you're asterisk with them. OMG. My BF likes to challenge me to rock paper scissors all the time when something needs to be done that neither of us feel like doing. Small things like getting up to fill a glass of water. I stopped playing because I kept losing. Now I have a trick to try next time. If somebody is talking giving you no chance to say what you want to say, drop something very loud on the floor then begin to talk. I just imagined myself at someone's house dropping an antique vase or something just to get my voice heard like some kind of lunatic and think that would be hilarious. That's called being a cat. When you are talking to someone, if you interrupt them and say walk with me in a busy tone and start walking away, they will walk with you and continue the conversation without hesitation. You can lead them wherever you want really. It's not really psychological, but let's say someone is 25 or 30 feet behind me while we're both walking down a hallway. There's a 90-degree corner coming up. I round the corner then run really quietly so I'm really far ahead of the person behind me. Then I walk my normal speed again. When they round the corner, they're surprised to see how far away I'm now compared to how normal I was walking. You can also do the opposite, wait until they are about to turn the corner, then start walking again, and they will be confused. I think the far away one is better. Cold bean checking your phone or something. I forget the exact study, but basically in an office setting you can tell anyone anything, and as long as it's on an official memo, anywhere between 60-80% will comply. I think in the study they had it as take this memo to an isolated room, and most people just did it. Wild stuff. Look distractedly at their nose or some part of their face, then scratch or rub the corresponding part on your own face. They'll supposedly get confused and think they have something on them. This was from the book Mind Control, The Ancient Art of Psychological Warfare by the dubiously named Ha Lung. My emotionally unstable brother bought this book, and I had to see what the hell he was actually reading. The author sounds like a nutcase through his writing. When you get into an elevator with other people, don't turn around to face the doors. It's a common practice in my country and people just stand there being uncomfortable. I hate it. Is your country hell? When talking to them, stare at their nose, and when they ask why you're staring at their nose, tell them that you aren't. I never know where to look when in talking to people. Everything feels weird. Right into them look balls. But not for too long. Take a fake homework to school and ask them if they had done it. Yes. You know, reverse card. If you're eating with them, ask them a question as soon as they take a bite of food. I worked with a friend who kept a 12-pack of Mountain Dew under his desk. For a while he'd sneak extra cans back into the box, not a lot and just enough that he was sure he drank more than the box would hold. He knows free drinks. Like the very old joke. A young boy enters a barber shop and the barber whispers to his customer, "This is the dumbest kid in the world. Watch while I prove it to you." The barber puts a dollar bill in one hand and 2 quarters in the other, then calls the boy over and asks, "Which do you want, son?" The boy takes the quarters and leaves. "What did I tell you?" said the barber. That kid never learns. Later, when the customer leaves, he sees the same young boy coming out of the ice cream store. "Hey, son. May I ask you a question? Why did you take the quarters instead of the dollar bill?" The boy licked his cone and replied, "Because the day I take the dollar, the game's over." If you're close-quartered with someone, you can intentionally choose one word out of the lexicon to mispronounce. Swear up and down that your way is the correct way, and the correct way is actually the wrong but popular version. After months of intentionally mispronouncing the word shrimp, my mother now says scrimp. It's been 2 years, and I can't undo this help. That's wild. My father says Walmart instead of Walmart. I tried correcting him 100 times and obviously say Walmart myself, but he was always like, "Oh okay, Walmart," and never changed how he says it. Yawn, yawn, yawn. I didn't understand at first, but then I started yawning, haha. Asterisk YAHHHHWWWWWW asterisk. When meeting someone for the first time, say oh hello again and shake their hand. Even if they go for like a high five, transfer it into a handshake. They will not ask for your name or any information, they will just think that you definitely know them from somewhere and they just forgot. I do this a lot by accident with conversations. I will say, like I was saying, or again, or whatever, only to realize several sentences later, after it's awkward to go back and explain, that I said this to someone else entirely several weeks/months ago, and this is the first time I've ever said this thing to this person. When I get excited, my brain forgets things like how time works and other people aren't a hive mind. Other people aren't a hive mind. Or so you think. I had a friend that would casually eat a slice of American cheese while taking orders at a particularly rude table. Not say anything other than normally asking what they wanted to eat. Bite of cheese. It would immediately make the guy trying to impress his date by being awful to the server totally docile because it was so awkward. My favorite is the slight lean and making a face like you're farting. I only use it to asterisk with people. I don't actually fart. It'll derail *ANY conversation. Pro tip, actually fart. Then make a worried face. If you want to really mess with someone, go up to them and ask them, "Hey, do you ever get that creepy déjà vu feeling?" Then like a week later wear the same thing and ask them the same question. I've done this too. So many people and their reactions are hilarious. When they're talking, glance at something behind them. Go back to making eye contact immediately. Pause for a second, then glance at the same spot again, but make some subtle facial expression for a split second, like confused, concerned, intrigued, etc. They'll probably look back. If they do, ask them what they're looking at before they ask you. With zero context, ask someone, who did they tell you that to? Then just watch as pure confusion washes over their face. The sentence means literally nothing, and it is fantastic. This was bad to read while high. Call them something they are wearing by choice. Whatever you say, turtleneck. Sure thing. Pink shorts. Yeah, that'll work. Asterisk 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 ring.